We are in Jamaica, and that's a pretty unique opportunity for us to reintroduce you all the members of the team that you've seen and introduced in the past few weeks and months and years if you've been following us, and also some new members that have been joining us in the last few days and had to take a plane almost at the last minute just before joining us, and so just immediately after signing the offer letter. So thank you very much for joining us. We're going to wait like 1 minute. In the meantime, I can introduce you a little bit to Jamaica in terms of weather. For example, that's basically the first time I'm going there. That's the first time for many people in the team to go there, to come here as well. So yeah, we didn't necessarily anticipate that we'll be going to Jamaica in the rainy season. And so that means it's very hot and it's very humid. And that makes basically every kind of interaction to be outside particularly difficult, if I'm a bit honest with you, for my little European person that likes temperate temperatures. So we're spread over in 2 villas. I'm going to try to move, but there is a challenge obviously on the connectivity. That is Villa 2. We booked 2 villas. There's other part of the team will be joining, but for the tunnel, we'll be spending that on Villa 1. I'm trying to not go over too much of the side because that's where a lot of people are waiting for me to show them again. I'm going to start with introducing the new member of the team that have been joining us in the last 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, but didn't have a chance yet to be featured on the tunnel. And I'm going to start with
and just working with all of you. Definitely reach out to us in support. From Texas originally, living in Austin currently, but I've lived in NYC, different parts of the US. I lived in Europe.
Yeah.
And you're joining us in the support team.
Yes, that's right.
And the US support team of them all.
That's right.
Isn't that great?
That's right.
Very
it is. Yes.
people.
Centrally located for our US customers.
So okay, perfect.
Over here now.
We're going to move to another location because we hear the Wi-Fi might be better. You know, no risk whatsoever. And I'm going to move over to another person that's a bit of an hybrid between the support team, and that's going to be Kelly.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Kelly. I'm also on the support team working in the Asia Pacific region. I am based out of Bali, but originally a Californian. And I'm sure I've already met a few of you in the support tickets, but I look forward to meeting more of you in the future. Happy to be here.
Hello, I am Gabor from New York, exiled now in Bali, Indonesia. And I just joined the customer support team in the APAC zone. Nice to meet you all.
Hey everybody, my name is Daniel. I'm 25 and I'm from the Netherlands. I'm joining the direct team as an engineer. Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I've been working with PHP for 7 years and I'm excited to get started.
Good, excited to get started. When did you join the company officially?
2 weeks ago.
And just the time, basically, the same afternoon it was about getting you on the flight.
Exactly.
You're a bit afraid of flying, but you made it to Indonesia. To Indonesia, oh my God. Amazing, other direction. So yeah, and that means a team currently that made it of 23 people out of 39 working Hospitable right now. So yeah, I'm going to try and change the camera order. That's the reason why we don't do those things. So those are the people that you've known and loved and keep loving. Start with Rainier. It's something.
Okay, hi.
Potato.
Nice
You made it. Sam is the director of engineering, and for the first time, we can actually get him on the Zoom call on the tunnel because
I've done two.
You've done two.
4 year tenure.
It's a bit challenging. Ivan, he's the guy that keeps the servers up, sometimes down too, but Christian, that's a smart locks wizard who is fighting left, right, bottom, and everywhere in all directions to keep smart locks reliable. Anmol, so product manager working on growth. And where are you based, Anmol? Dubai. Memory, doing some machine learning every year.
Exactly. I'm also from the Netherlands, just like Daniel.
Just like Daniel. We have a lot of Dutch people. Also, reintroduce, you were there a few weeks ago.
Yep, from Miami, customer support team. Shout out to the customer support.
Brian, working with the sales team, he's probably been onboarding a few of you as part of Hospitable. Yeah, also a property manager. With how many properties?
13.
13 and growing, right?
Growing.
Yeah, ooh, nice. And we have Alisa.
Hello.
Alisa is away from a current smart lock provider, so working on.
That's
We're
right.
gonna go back to that a bit later in the tunnel. We have Jen, who is our support superhero and principal customer support advocate.
Yeah,
But
talk to y'all.
that's a small title. You've known her; she's amazing. And yeah, if I forgot anyone, it's everybody. Okay, then we're gonna go back inside Villa One for the rest of the people that are, and I'll be joining them on the panel. Miles, up to you.
So welcome to Jamaica. Thank you for the warm introduction, Pierre. So the rest of the town hall is going to be kind of our standard format. So as always, just a reminder that we are recording and we are live streaming to Facebook. So we're going to start off with some company and product updates, and then we'll move into a Q&A session. So feel free to use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen. You can also raise your hand if you'd like to come on stage for that Q&A section. But first, as I say, we'll get on to company updates.
Hello, I'm back again. It's a bit of a magical turn. So coming inside. Hello, everyone. It's a lot colder inside, apparently. So punch, pull, and productive. That's basically the theme for these few days. We are on a company retreat. Most of us arrived on Sunday, and we be officially leaving on Friday, Saturday. So we're in a workation mode. Typically, when we do a retreat, or we've been doing retreats in the past, there's a lot of content, a lot of presentation that we're doing, and try to do a few exercises and team collaborations. That creates a lot of workload, and we decided to have more of a workcation in that we are all relocating to a specific location. We obviously are going to be working next to each other. It's a bit difficult to do in other setups, but we are going to be expected to have more or less the same workload as usual. So for me, that means I'm taking this opportunity to having one-on-ones and more strategic meetings with the senior members of the team. But for everyone else, basically, developers keep coding and customer support keep replying with you. There is going to be a bit less work, to be honest, for some team activities. Yesterday, we were on a boat under the rain. It was a storm, and there were some punch run that was therefore involved, as you might imagine. Obviously, it's particularly important now. It's a great opportunity to have that company retreat at this point in time, because it's closing a part of our recruitment with Kelly, Gabor, Cameron, and Daniel that you've been seeing a moment ago. And that basically gives them the opportunity to have one-on-one onboarding with all the colleagues. And it's a lot funnier, it's a lot more fun to have that in face-to-face than it is in a remote distributed setup, as we do usually. So 23 colleagues made it to Montego Bay. We have more people, though, that are still going to be joining the team. So we have one new locked-in software engineer. That's a good thing for someone that's going to take care of smart locks. So we joined the team in July. That's another Dutch person, which means that there will be 4 Dutch people joining your team. There's a bit of a competition between Brits and Dutch people, apparently. We are also soon going to extend 2 new offers, 2 new offers for more direct, more engineers focused on direct and on the core product. So that's the product that you're using today. They may be today joining us on this panel. They are going to be hearing from us very quickly. So just as a bit of, I wanted to have an opportunity to basically tell you a little bit more about how we are growing as a company. In January, we're at 26 people. Now we are actually going to be 40 1st of July, and giving you a breakdown of the different roles. You see that we've been growing particularly on customer support and engineering. So currently that represents almost half of the company on customer support, and more engineers to basically support our new products that we're launching. That is Direct, that is Smart Locks, that is also Connect, which is a B2B SaaS product for industry partners. So yeah, that's basically the little bit of an update that I can share with you in growing the team. Now, what you would like to hear from us is obviously how is the situation, how are we doing on support? This is the current team size that you've been seeing, so 18 people. The breakdown is 6 people currently being focused on frontlines, so basically focusing on response time and asking you questions to ensure that our core experts can investigate everything that you might experience in a product. There is also one support engineer, who is specifically an engineer working to solve support problems. That may include triaging, that is including also some bug fixing and working on tooling to make sure that we are a team that can be working efficiently. So we are still making progress. Needless to say, this is not still convincing and satisfactory, and we are working hard to make sure that we can go back to a 1-day maximum response time for the first for a long time. We know that right now the maximum response time that we're experiencing today is 5 days. That means there are some of you that have been waiting maybe for 5 days to get a response from us. We're going to that stack progressively. What I can tell you though, and it's really great news, is that we see the backlog going down. That means we have enough capacity to be able to not increase the backlog. We are able to receive, process, and see a lot more responses, and decrease our response time and first response time in particular significantly. This is still not satisfactory. You've seen Gabor, you've seen Kelly, you've seen Cameron. They are going to be great. Kevin is already up to speed on doing tickets. And so we're working hard now to make sure that they can ramp up in productivity. And so they can respond to more conversations on a day-by-day basis. With our Magic support team, the support lines, the front support, also gaining in productivity as well. We're also taking a lot of initiatives internally to make sure that we can boost that productivity. And for example, you may have heard about that in previous panels. We have an internal AI integration, AI product that basically is coaching all support agents to ask them to generate draft messages and to ask for relevant questions based on previous conversation with customers in the past 2 months, and with the help of our support documentation. So we're hoping that we're going to iterate on this product to ensure that we're going to be more efficient and obviously get back to you faster with quality answers. We don't want to negotiate that down. On that, I'm going to leave to Andrew for ChatGPT updates.
Cool. So the update on ChatGPT, as we've been covering, we're very happy with how it's working. We have some plans on how to keep improving it. Everybody has access to this currently still. For some of you, that is a free trial. I think we could have done a better job communicating this, and I'm sorry if this was confusing. But we had to come up with a way to basically cover the cost, because it's not free, but it was such a core part of our product that we wanted everybody to have access to use it, not think about losing credits, not think about not being able to use it as much as they want. And so the decision we made is to make it included for everyone that is on the current base subscription. I know that's a little bit confusing. So what we did is we improved visibility of that in your plan. So if you are logged in Hospitable, you can go to your subscription and you can look at what your base subscription is. If you are not at $40 or equivalent, that means you're on a legacy pricing scheme, and you would need to update to maintain access to ChatGPT. That doesn't mean your add-ons for your active properties are going to change. It just means your base subscription fees change. So if you're on $18 a month, for example, you're going to be paying an additional $22 a month to upgrade. If you're on a $25 base subscription fee, that legacy fee will increase by $15 for a month. That's how much you would need to pay if you decide that you want to have access to this ChatGPT feature and more AI features going forward. I know that's, again, we're sorry if that was not communicated clearly. We have not removed the feature yet, but we do intend to do that quite soon. You have an upgrade button that is located on your plan. So if you decide that you want to do that, you can click on that upgrade button. If you want to check out your overall price, how that looks, you can go to the pricing calculator on hospitable.com and see what your current price is going to look like after upgrading. So for direct updates, limited team the last 2 weeks since the town hall. So not a whole lot of changes, but the rollout is complete. So right now, everybody has access to direct. I think some people might have been confused if you hadn't gone to direct in a while. We are asking you to pick a plan. That doesn't mean we're going to be charging you yet. You do need to tell us if you want to have a trial of basic or a trial of premium. And what that means is you can get set up on your own time. You can add your payout methods. You can look at your site in a draft mode. If you decide that you want to go forward, you would need to activate direct then to publish your site and to start taking bookings. So everybody has access to that now. We're even live in Australia in the beta mode for direct premium. Otherwise, direct premium is only available in the US still. And there's still efforts going to expand access to that. Otherwise, the last couple of weeks, we've been making some improvements to the new cancellation policy manager, making that a little bit easier to understand the UI, how you select properties, how you scope into default policies or custom policies. So you should have everything you need there now. We also improved the visibility to customers, making it a bit smarter about only displaying the most relevant cancellation policy in the booking flow. Minor tweak, the calendar widget on your site. The visibility on dates was a little bit different for different themes. It wasn't quite clear, so we improved that. We've been spending a lot of time working on the direct premium payout method process. I know that's been frustrating for some people. You have to go through that know your customer verification with our payment processor. We've been working with them to improve that form to make it easier to use. We're now doing things like helping you select the company better, helping you get the phone right format. I know those were frustrations for a lot of people, so we're still spending time on improving that process. What everyone's waiting for, Google Vacation Rentals. We're still going through the process of that kind of audit and implementation setup with them. So it's sharing your property feed, doing the pricing audit. That is still an ongoing process. We're still looking at probably at least 4 weeks before that goes live. But that is very much in progress. Otherwise, next couple of features coming up are going to be Instant Book. I would love if we can get that knocked out before we leave Jamaica. I don't know if there's enough time left on this trip, but it's not going to take us long when we actually get the time to sit down and do it. Otherwise, I know promo codes have been one of the most requested features. That's up next after Instant Book. And with that, I think I can hand over to Emily.
Yeah, just one question. Because we don't have access to the chat right now because we do that setup. So I'm just going to ask, basically, what is the timeline for coupon code? Basically, you're going to have for a lot of conversations on a very group values. Okay. Is there a
we're telling people end of June. We should have promo codes.
Okay. End of June.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Hey, everybody. I want to give a quick smart lock update. As we've talked about the last several town halls, we are making some big improvements to our Schlage integration by moving from one integrating partner to another. That process is done, but we are still in a private pilot mode where it's a support-led migration where Alyssa from our support team will hold your hand through this migration, look at how it's working in real time and make sure everything is good to go. We have 3 slots that we're going to be opening up. So if you have a Schlage integration today that's not working great for you, we're going to post the link in the chat. There are only 3 spots, so sign up really quickly. Get that time with Alyssa and she will help you migrate to the new Schlage integration. Once that private pilot is done and we're really confident that it's bug-free and ready to go, we are then going to allow you guys to migrate yourselves if you receive a code failure email. So it still will require effort on your part. When you get that code failure email, that's saying like, okay, we know something is wrong with your migration, and now we want to allow you to choose to get on the new integrating partner. So from your email, you'll be able to trigger that migration yourself. You'll just have to relog into a Schlage account, rematch your properties. We do recommend doing that when you don't have a reservation checking in on that day, if possible, just to make sure everything has time to migrate over smoothly. The next step for us is to have this migration happen behind the scenes automatically upon your connection. So we're going to continue improving how that works. All right, some other improvements outside of Smart Lock land. One, we have a hospitable listing now. So this can get kind of confusing, so I'll take a second to explain it. As you guys know, in Hospitable, we can have a property, which is representative of like a physical property that you are renting out. And that property can have multiple listings, an Airbnb listing, a Vrbo listing, and a booking.com listing. But we also allow direct bookings and manual bookings, and those don't really fall under, Airbnb, Vrbo, or booking.com. So now we have a hospitable listing. This is going to see, it kind of seems like a small change, but it was a major refactor and an improvement to how our system works on the back end. And it's going to allow you, even if you list on just one OTA, if you only list on Airbnb, it's now going to allow you to turn on reservation sync if you're getting manual and direct bookings as well. Really just like alleviating a lot of issues across the board. So right now, direct bookings are a part of that hospitable listing, and later this week or early next week, manual bookings will be a part of that as well. So if you are receiving direct bookings, you can go check out the property page and you'll see this hospitable listing and know that you're good to go. We're continuing to work on Vrbo connectivity improvements.
this is like a very behind the scenes effort. So it might not be something that you're visibly seeing within the UI, but we are making some strides there. And also improving the way our reservation sync works and the way our recurring syncs work. So we have this reservation sync that kicks off automatically when you get a reservation to block calendars. And then we also have a recurring sync that runs every several minutes to continue to block those calendars and make sure that they're all aligned. And we're just improving how those work across the board. Up next for Verbo improvements, we are taking a look at the Verbo Owners app to see what data shows in this app that we're not yet displaying in Hospitable. And we're making an assessment, some decisions there, what's going to be helpful for you guys to see. So you can post in the chat if you guys have requests, like what do you see in the Verbo Owners app that you really wish displayed in Hospitable? We've gotten some requests to display when a guest has outstanding payments, or if they have multiple transactions for their payment. So yeah, we're doing that, taking a look at that together while we're in person, because we can actually all sit around the Verbo Owners app together and explore. Yeah, okay, let's see. I think that's all I've got. So yeah, we can pass it back to Miles, and we're going to take some Q&A from you guys.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so I can see who has their hand raised, questions in the queue. So we don't have any hands raised yet. So just a reminder, folks, you can use the function at the bottom to raise your hand to ask the question. And there we go, just like that. Becky has a question. Oh, no, sorry, Brittany has a question. Brittany.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So sorry, I got kicked out when you were talking about the direct bookings, but I have owners that are very excited for promo codes, like offering military discounts and stuff for hospital workers. So when would promo codes for the direct bookings be a thing?
Yeah, sorry, we did announce that. I know you got kicked out. We're telling people end of June, so we're gonna get instant book knocked out, and that's gonna take us like more time, and then switch right to promo codes after that. So should be by the end of this coming month.
Okay, and then I have another question too, if that's okay.
Yep.
So I also I use OwnerRes and I use Hospitable because both platforms offer different things that are beneficial to our company. And with OwnerRes, it takes security holds and it can send out waivers automatically, which is a huge part because I have a lot of lakefront properties. Is that something that you guys would be bringing on, is something to send out waivers automatically? Or do you have that already?
Yeah, so we don't have it currently. We are going to explore how we look at that. There's a few different things that people have asked for, different hosts have asked for. Currently, if you're using direct premium, we do have that $5 million damage protection, which is kind of what we're using now in place of a security deposit. But we're definitely going to explore that going forward.
Sweet. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm even paying, but I think there's like 60 properties in my account. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering my questions.
Okay, thank you, Brittany.
Just one question, Brittany, while you are here on stage, if I don't mind asking you, what do you contemplate the promo code, how do you contemplate the promo code features to be working? Because now is the time to kind of provide that kind of input to Andrew and others so that you can shape that feature accordingly.
Okay, sorry, what was the question for me?
How would you like promo codes to be working?
Oh, as soon as possible. I mean, every property that comes in with me wants to be in like a pool. So the owners want to travel around the world at a better rate. So anyone who is in my kind of like market, they get to book other properties. They get to book each other's locations for, say, a better rate. So having them all on direct booking, they get their own owner promo code to travel to different locations.
That's for you, that's a problem for owners so that they can book properties from your own portfolio, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good to know. Thanks. Not unexpected that. Thank you, Brittany.
Perfect. Okay, now we do have Becky on stage. There we go, Becky. Try. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Becky.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Hey. Okay, I just had a question. You know, like before, I've used a few different platforms, and the only thing that I'm kind of missing on this one is I'm wondering if you guys have or plan on having like a financial reporting section.
Yes, I can answer that. So we do have plans for metrics. Right now, our metrics feature is a CSV download, and a lot of our hosts download that and do stuff with the CSV to, you know, if you need like charts or whatever. We are working on a metrics revamp. It looks really great. So yeah, it's going to be charts, graphs, all the stuff. The complicated thing about this is that every different platform like reports numbers in a different way. And so we do work behind the scenes to align the data that you're seeing so that we can put it on charts and graphs and can align what you see. So yes, we've started the front end work on that. And then we're going to start the back end work a little later. It could be several weeks before this is live, but it is currently one of our priorities.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Becky, this is also what Amy reported a bit earlier about showing more verbal data.
Yeah.
That's basically it's completely part of that. It's for now, the first part is having a secure, high quality data that basically is going to match what you're saying, and then filling the blanks, filling the voids sometimes when we don't have accurate numbers. We believe we don't have good accurate numbers from channels. And then you can basically have a reliable product with all the nice user interface that you can expect.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so next up we have Gabrielle.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I have a question for you guys about the direct booking. I had my first reservation with a direct booking for a customer that is gonna come to one of my properties, but next year, January 1st, 2024. He says he booked with me prior with through Airbnb, and he's asking me for an invoice. And to be honest with you, I don't know where can I find an invoice to send to him, because he says that he used to receive something from Airbnb and is now receiving from the processor that we have with you guys. And also, if I do have any problems with the payment processing, is there a way that we can communicate with the processor ourselves? Or, I mean, and because I don't get paid until the guest checks in, which is a long time from now. So if they want to cancel and I want to refund, I mean, this is new for me. So anything that you can say to help me, I appreciate.
Hi, Gabriella. I think we spoke before. Yeah, so we'll go backwards, I guess. So the cancellation policies, you can now manage those in direct. So you'll want to look at what cancellation policy you have set up for your reservation. You can always overrule that. So if you at any time want to refund 100% of a reservation, you can. You do that from Hospitable. So you can go to the reservation in your inbox and go to the cancellation or the alteration, depending on what you want to do. And process a cancellation. You don't need to contact the payment processor for that. Hospitable would be your first line of support. And something that I did forget to mention in the talk is we're actually recruiting now for a dedicated direct support team. So we're going to have people specialized in the payment processing, specialized in the guest vetting and damage protection that can help you file claims, help your guests through the vetting process. I think some people have gotten hooked up on that. So those improvements are coming, but you shouldn't need to contact them. And you're right, with direct premium, because we're taking liability for your reservation with a merchant of record, that means, we're going to handle chargebacks. We're going to, be reserving those funds in case they're canceled until the guest checks in, just like Airbnb does. That's why we have to hold that payout. And then what was the first question? Sorry.
The invoice, he's asking me for an invoice.
Okay, yeah, so we would have sent the guest a confirmation that has the financials of that booking. It's not technically an invoice. That's something we probably need to look into, is how we can get like a proper letter or A4 invoice out on our reservation. Hopefully we can get that done before January 2024. And we can get it.
Well, but he's asking me for that like right now. He wants to be sure that, I mean, the payment, where is his payment, and I don't have the money. So that's what I responded to him. I don't see your money until you check in. And I don't know what information has been sent about the payment to him. So if you can help me with that, or you can private message me, I can tell the guest name and what is it that you can help me, like that I can be sending, or you guys can send it to him. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's like almost $20,000 that he pays, and I understand that he's kind of unsecure where the money is, and so it's not like a couple of $100.
I'll follow up with you privately, Gabriella. But yeah,
Please,
you can't.
I appreciate.
Quality of this in the product. So like if you're in that looking at that reservation, you have a reservation details tab that will show you more details about the payment. If you're looking to track.
Yeah, I saw that, but the numbers that I see there are not the numbers that he says that he pays. I see like 15,000 and he pay almost 20. So I don't get, I don't know. I need help with that. If you can help me, please.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you after this. And then the other thing I was just going to say is, if you want to track your direct bookings and see the status of when you're going to get paid out, that is in the payout history. So you should be able to see that. And that is going to be a different number than the guest saw, right? Because the guests pay taxes, they paid a service fee, all those things, and you're seeing the payout, which would be your pass-through taxes and your nightly rate. So those numbers can be different. So yeah, I understand the confusion. That's an opportunity for us to improve there. I'll follow up with you after this.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriella. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I don't think we need to have something basically read the products right now. We can have something on request. There's the invoicing that once we get our customer until there's something that can be automated. Because I kind of appreciate the sense of urgency and the customer side to make sure that has been paid. And unfortunately, I've seen on chat that Gabriella could process an invoice herself. Yes, sure, but that would only be for what she receives and what has been invoiced. And we, as a regular record, we have this kind of responsibility as well to be the one communicating the total amounts and confirming that the reservation has indeed been paid. So thank you, Gabriella, for bringing that up.
Great, thank you very much. So just a reminder, if you do want to ask a question on stage, the raise that hand button is actually underneath reactions at the bottom, the little smiley face. Click on there and there is a raise hand button. So you can use that if you want to come on stage and ask a question. I'm actually just going to pull a question from Q&A around direct. So just asking about upselling services and the ability to add fees on, like for pool heating, so $8 per day, for instance.
Yeah, it's a few different features probably. So there's improvements to be made for ad hoc refunds, ad hoc fees. That's one thing. There's potential to do upselling around what we call like a guest portal. Not a lot of progress in that feature yet, but when that comes, that will give you like a nice online itinerary that the guests can access at any time. And our plan is to allow you to kind of upsell services there. So if people want to access your early check-in or late checkout, your pool heating, any other services that you want to sell, that would be a good way to do that. That's not the highest priority for us right now. So it's not coming in probably the next 6 to 8 weeks. But definitely, yeah, I think ad hoc refunds and ad hoc fees we'll get to in that timeline. But the overall upselling project is probably going to be a longer.
Cool, thank you. That question was from Jason. Thank you, Jason. So next up, Sean, inviting you on stage to ask your question. Sean, hello.
Hello, Sean. How are you doing?
Nudge you to unmute, maybe Sean.
All right, can you hear me now?
We can indeed.
Long time hearing you right here.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are having a blast in Jamaica. I think all of us are jealous. Quick couple questions on direct premium. First of all, is there any way to add like an HTML block that we can edit? The main kind of hole that I see in the current version is there's no reviews. And obviously we're trying to sell a property to people and we have all these reviews from Airbnb, et cetera, but we have no way to display them. So I think that would be a huge add-on just for credibility, for more bookings, et cetera. And then the other thing with VRBO, for the last like 6 months plus, all the hotel occupancy taxes that have been collected, they don't show up whenever you pass it through a webhook. It works perfectly through all the Airbnb bookings, but none of the VRBOs actually pass that information. So I have to go in manually every month or whatever. Anyway, those are my 2 comments.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of color to offer at the moment on reviews. But yeah, I appreciate upping the priority on that. Understood.
We've heard a few comments from customers, elevating concerns about trust and basically not looking exactly as good as it should be. So we're gonna take that into account whenever we have capacity. As for the verbal financials that you're saying, it's definitely the work that we're working on on having clean data from verbal and others, so we can have those numbers ourselves and then be able to update API, for example, to make it work. And with the expectation that we will have to work within a very open-ended time frame to improve our public API and make sure this is going to be working for other integration, other service providers. But I'm not sure really what is the timeline for that. We have to work for this.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Sean. Okay, so next up we have David. David, inviting you on stage now. Gonna give you a little nudge to unmute. Hi there.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Few questions. First, when you guys process my my credit card, it's always said it's been processed internationally and it charged me an extra fee. I'm not talking about the direct booking. I'm talking about just the $40 that we pay monthly. Why there is an extra charge on top of that $40? First thing. Second thing, on direct booking, I was never ever, and I'm an IT guy, be able to set up the web page. And whenever we get in touch with the support, Jesus Christ, I mean, we never get an answer, whether we don't explain ourselves or they're not there to help us resolve the issue.
What's the issue you're having, David?
In direct booking, okay, I'm not able to publish the web page. Okay, first thing. Second thing, sometimes in preview, you can just see the pictures without any description of the property or the pictures. I mean, it doesn't look like a professional way. And it's never, if I go ahead and type like the link on a, let's say on Chrome, on Safari, I'm not able to see it.
Okay, well, why don't you, if you could send me an email directly, I'll have someone share my email in the chat. It's Andrew.
Okay, can I have it, please? If you can send it through the email.
Share in the chat, and if you email me, I'll jump on that and we can take care of the issues you have with your direct site.
I'm trying to look for your email through the chat, please.
Yeah, Miles is typing that right now. David, as well, I think Forex fee, currency exchange fee that basically you receive, you being charged every time. That's something that is out of our control. We've heard that some banks are charging a fee for this, and that's not money that gets into our accounts. We charge the amount that we invoice you for, and the rest of it is really rated with your bank charging a fee. And that may be because currently the company that's invoicing our customers is incorporated in Europe, and that may be a factor right there. We're going to work also on basically distributing that and having our US company charging customers located in the US. But that's a very complicated task to accomplish at this point in time, which involves a lot of corporate legal matters. So David, I would ask you to basically ask this question to your bank as to why they are charging you an additional fee on top of your subscription fee. And again, it's just me on an intuition. I don't know exactly what that setup and what your actual fee loop, but we've heard that from other clients.
Okay, thank you.
Good. All right. Thanks, David.
Thank you. And thank you for your patience, David. We support. We're going to get better. It's going to improve over time. And we definitely are feeling the pain in the same way.
Great. Thank you very much. So actually now taking another question for Q&A around hospitable listings. Few people asking about it, kind of wanted another quick run through. There's also questions around availability of that for manual bookings.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so this is a little complicated, so sorry, I wasn't clear earlier. Okay, so if you've ever had a direct booking in the past, or if you get a direct booking in the future, you will now have a hospitable listing shown in your account. It doesn't really mean that much for you. It's like a back-end thing that we're doing to improve our reservation sync. We had previously had a lot of issues where customers are only listing on one channel, which is fine. But we had a requirement that if you list, you have to have 2 listings in order to turn on our reservation sync. And so if our reservation sync failed that first time and you only had 1 listing, like we wouldn't try again in the future. And that was not great. And it was opening up the opportunity to get a double booking if you started with a direct booking or a manual booking. So confusing. So now with this hospitable listing, that's going to alleviate that pain. So direct bookings fall underneath the hospitable listing, and manual bookings will soon fall under the hospitable listing as well. I don't know what that's.
Is the question specific to anything?
It was a more asking.
Okay.
Yeah, is it Joe? Is Joe asking the question?
I did see him.
Okay.
It's going out.
Yeah, it should be, that should be out next week, we're thinking. So it is.
Okay,
yeah,
great, thank you. And yeah, please, on Q&A or chat, if we didn't answer that specifically, let us know. We've got time to round it off at the end, if need be. So now I'm inviting Tyler on stage. Tyler, hello.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
Yeah, Tyler, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Not as good as you guys in Jamaica, I guess. I have a quick question about some direct booking stuff. I literally just got a response from Jen. Okay, but I'll share it anyway, just to kind of like give you some context here. So basically what happened is we got a direct booking inquiry, and just to be frank, direct booking has been awesome. I mean, it's so cool. I'm so excited about this feature. Like, this has been huge for us thus far, and like we are extremely excited to see how it develops as well, like in the future. My question with the new auto host integration and how that's working, we have a family friend that is trying to book directly with us, and obviously we're well aware of the risk level because they are a family friend. You know, we've known them for a very long time, but also want to maintain the actual processes and have them go direct as well. And so we had them book directly, and the inquiry is actually about to expire. But the only reason we can't approve it is because it says that the process vetting isn't complete yet. And so my question is there a way to bypass this? Like, will we have control like now or in the future? I guess, what does that look like is really my main question.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. There's a lot of things we can do to improve it. Part of that is why we're recruiting a dedicated support team to help your guests through that process and make sure they understand how to do that. We're looking at kind of even refactoring how the process works and kind of like front loading the guest vetting, so we don't have this kind of overlapping time frame of 24 hours and expiring before the guest vetting is done. That's not great. So yeah, it's not something we're kind of just finished with and we're going to leave it as is. But yeah, there's competing time frames. So like when you get a request to book, we're authorizing that customer's credit card at that time. And when you accept the request to book, you have the authority to capture that payment. And so because of that, we have to have kind of a hard block on that 24-hour window. But that 24-hour window should exist independent of the guest vetting. Like, that's pretty clear to us as well. And so we're going to be making improvements in kind of how that all goes. That flow is not perfect right now. But going around the flow is not really an option either for premium. And that's the reason we have these processes in place, is because of the liability, like we mentioned earlier, that we're taking for the booking too. We don't want to set you guys up for fraud or any other bad activity. And that guest vetting is tied into your damage protection. And so we need to get a validated guest ID on file that we can go to as the primary holder of the liability if it goes to a damage, if you file a complaint on that. So those processes are there for a reason, and they're going to get improved. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I guess for this short-term Band-Aid, it sounds like I need to go and kind of walk them through this process and see what that looks like, and try to complete it for them to make sure it was done correctly, is what it's sounding like. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I can also jump in right after this and take a look and see if there's anything I can do, especially having the contact. And that's not really a scaling process going forward. I can see if I can help you on this one. One other point is going to make. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank y'all very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
Okay, so now I'm inviting Monique on stage. Hello.
Hi, guys. I have multiple questions, but I've been getting some of them answered in chat. But I did want to ask you about that hospitable listing, not to drill this to the ground. But I don't know if this is a hospitable listing that I'm seeing in my properties section. So I guess my question is, how do we know when it's a hospitable listing or something just went wrong with sync? Because I do have an additional property with the same name as another property that I have, but the image is broken. There's like a little broken icon, and then the platform that it's showing is just direct. So is that my hospitable listing, or is something wrong with my account?
Yeah, so on the properties page, you'll see all the individual listings, and it'll have like an Airbnb icon, Vrbo icon, and then our little hospitable logo is your hospitable listing. It sounds like you're thinking something might be broken though too. And so
Okay.
I can't look at in this moment, but we can take a look
Yeah.
at it if you don't mind shooting us a message.
I did shoot you guys a message and nobody has responded, and it's been a few days, maybe even a week.
Yeah, nobody has responded on that yet.
Okay.
There's actually a trick there for customers. I appreciate that we see you frustrated and you would like to get an update. The thing is, we have an habit of working actually from the people that have been waiting the longest. So for people that didn't hear from us, let's say 5 days ago at this point in time,
Yeah.
very, very bad timing. The problem is that someone is following up to say, hey, what's up? It's urgent, frustrated. It always becomes into a more recent message, and that actually pushes the deadline for them to be seen by. So they will be
I haven't followed up, so that hasn't happened because it's not urgent. It's just kind of an annoying thing that I see there. So I figured I would ask when this town hall happened.
So yeah, but yeah, there is something there that probably as an explanation can be that to you here, but normally those hospitable listings are always meant to be tied, or at least have been tied at one point in time with an Airbnb or Vrbo listings. They don't exist independently. They need to be tied within the same area. So the thing that will be alarming for us is if that property did not have in the past a Vrbo or Airbnb listing attached to it, maybe so you would have added a manual booking and then removed your Vrbo account, it seems, because those broken pictures tend to be either very old or from Vrbo. So that's something that we can look at this offline, in the case of this town hall.
Okay. Okay, so should I just wait then for a response from you guys?
Unfortunately, yes. And good morning. I'm going to ask you for your patience.
It's totally fine. It's not urgent. Like I said, it's just an annoyance that I see every time I log in. I'm like, oh shoot, what's wrong? But it's totally fine. It's not urgent.
Yeah, I think it's a cosmetic thing. We want to make sure that whenever it's configured properly as we're releasing this feature.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So at the moment we have no one else with their hands raised, but if anyone else has a question, we have just under 10 minutes to go, so please raise your hand now. You might squeeze in. We do have a question from Brett for you, Andrew. Can we use Hospitable Direct embedded on our existing website? So widgets.
Yeah, that's a widget question. So yeah, for Direct, we give you sites. You don't have to use them. They're good starter sites. If you move on and use any third-party site you want, what you need to do is create a widget. So you go to Direct, and on the same that main page of Direct, you'll see sites and you'll see widgets. You can go to create new and then select widget. You'll get a unique URL for each property that you scoped that widget in, and you'll just drop those on your site. It's going to be displayed as an iframe. You can choose some theme for that. So it's not completely custom color schemes, but you can play around with the themes, get a color scheme that's as close as possible to the design of your custom site. And then depending on how your site framework works, you'll just be dropping that unique URL for each property onto the property page of your custom site. So that's totally supported. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew. And then I'm going to pull another one from chat. Again, for you, Andrew. Sorry for getting on you intentionally. So from Andrea, for direct bookings, can you set the option to block one day before and after each reservation for turnovers, similar to the option on Airbnb?
That sounds like an availability rules update, which we don't have currently, I believe, right? We're kind of grooming a ticket to do some improvements on this. I think availability rules become more important for us with direct. I know people want to do things, like not having Saturday checkouts, not allowing those, so you get people not destroying your weekend bookings that are valuable. So yeah, I don't have an ETA on when those happen. I think we're looking at it more from the core team, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass this back to my colleague.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know what we need to do here. It's just a matter of getting it prioritized, really. So as we talked about earlier, the remote connectivity things are our priority right now. And I do think the availability stuff will come relatively soon.
Thank you both. Okay, we have a hand raised. So Yash, inviting you on stage now. Hello, Yash.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Quick question on the booking.com messages. So I've connected the special host, I forget the exact name of it, but the special contacts information, and I'm getting messages come from guests through to the Hospitable platform when they first send something, but after we respond, the second message sometimes doesn't always get through. Wanted to see if other people have been facing the same issue and if this is on your guys' radar.
So I might take that one, yeah. So I'll do a quick intro. Hello, I'm Ethan from Australia. So this is my first ever town hall, which is very exciting. I'm usually on in Australia. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning there. So when you guys are reaching out at night, I'll be the one replying to your tickets along with the rest of the Asia Pacific crew. So I'm happy to be here. Your issue, I think it's definitely one that I would recommend reaching out to us specifically around exactly what's occurring there. Most commonly, the issues we have with booking.com messages are related to that special request contact that you have set up. So I'd like to look into your particular instance there to see exactly what is occurring as to whether there's something with the setup or whether there's a larger issue at play there.
And I'll add a little bit to that too. There is a known issue that we've seen in the past couple of weeks, and booking.com has acknowledged that there's an issue on their side that they're unable to fix. And so what we've done is, in reaction to that, is we're in the process of getting certified to use booking.com's messaging API, which when implemented is going to do away with our need to use the special request contact. And really just improve the messaging experience for our booking.com connection all the way around. So still reach out because there could be something else going on. But for anybody else who sees, issues with booking.com messaging, like there is an issue with that unfortunately we can't fix right now, but this API, this new access to the messaging API with booking.com is going to solve a lot of that pain.
Okay, sounds good. I'll definitely reach out I'll reach out on the support channel to kind of describe my issue, and I'll send you some screenshots. I also did have another question on the direct. For the last couple of days, almost a week, I've been trying to preview my website before I publish it, but it's not working for me. I also wanted to see if you've seen this issue with other people, please. Other people.
No, that's new feedback. I have no idea actually why you wouldn't be able to preview. It's going to open a new tab, so maybe it's blocking the pop-up. Does that sound like that could be an issue?
I could check. I tried disabling all my pop-up blockers and everything because the pop-up shows up. It's just when it shows up, none of the views are populated. Like I don't see the header. I don't see any of the information I've put in the edit section. So kind of don't know what it really looks like.
But yeah, without more context, let's say it could be an ad blocker or something like that. So I would try using like an incognito browser to log in and check if that fixes it. If not, I think you'd have to escalate to support so we can actually investigate without more context. But that's not something we've been hearing, so there's not like a known issue for that. So it sounds like something local on your side.
Okay. And with that, I'd add, when you do reach out to support, if you can send through a screenshot of exactly what you're seeing, we'll be trying to replicate that on our side. So we can look on our side as to how we populate that, and then to see if we can replicate the issue that you're having as well. So any screenshots you can send through will be very helpful.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do that. All right, that was it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jack. So I think we're just going to squeeze in one last question before we wrap up for the day. So Scott, inviting you on stage. Scott, perhaps. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you very much for taking my call.
Pleasure. How can we help you?
Yes, I integrated Price Labs about 5 days ago, and it's really awesome, but it's only pushing prices to Airbnb. It's not pushing the prices accurately to VRBO. Is that a known problem?
So I think I'll take that one as well. We do have some known issues specifically with pushing information to Verbo. So again, it will somewhat depend on your unique case as to whether that we're seeing errors there pushing that information. So again, if you can reach out to support with some specific screenshots of the specific days that you're not seeing it pushed to Verbo. So if there's a discrepancy on your Verbo calendar compared to what you're seeing in Hospitable, if you can send through a calendar screenshot of those dates on Verbo, because obviously that's something that can be difficult for us to troubleshoot without the ability to see your Verbo account. I guess we're quite public and open about the fact that we do use Verbo's public API, and there can be issues pushing information to Verbo as a channel. But again, we want to troubleshoot your specific case as to exactly what is occurring there. Have you used Price Labs prior with the direct connection to Verbo or Airbnb?
No, I haven't. I started doing this Friday, and I did message you with a ton of screenshots trying different things. I actually got some of it to push by raising my prices to $2,000 a night, and then it did push $2,000 across everything for the next 18 months. And then I told Price Labs to update, and it went ahead and put the correct prices into Hospitable, but it did not push all of those to VRBO. I still have a lot of prices sitting at $2,000, which is good. They won't book at least at something low.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe they will. What I would say is one of the challenges that we're having also with Price Labs that might have an impact on the integration Verbo is basically they send a lot of updates at a certain time. So if you're experiencing a problem, and I'm saying that may not be a solution for you, but that has proven to be a solution for many others, that if you notice that currently your push was not successful to Verbo, just go to Price Labs and click sync now to have a ad hoc push of your prices when you pass it to you do follow-ups of your listing to Hospitable and then for us to Verbo. And I've experienced the case where that basically was something that solved a lot of connectivity problems in that case. There is an additional feature, which I think is costing a little bit more on Price Labs. I think you can either change the time where your prices are being pushed. So basically, if you push that at another time in the day than what Price Lab usually does, it will be a greater chance to be successful. And I think there is also a feature this time paid indeed to have several pushes in a day. Obviously, we want to be as reliable as possible when it comes to pushing rates and Verbo. We know that's really the core of the industry. Because it's something right now that our team is going to be working on to improve on Verbo. That's also part of the Verbo data, the financials, and the work on the rates. But yeah, for now, that may be like band-aids that still help you to fix the problem for a time until those the situation is entirely resolved with Airbnb. With Verbo. I'm sorry, it's the weather.
Yes, when I go ahead and do the manual sync on Price Labs, it goes immediately within about less than a minute over to Hospitable. It works flawlessly. Hospitable picks up everything perfectly, and Hospitable gets it out to Airbnb within a minute perfectly. It's only VRBO where I'm having the problem.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, so it sounds from the infrequency of the issues, it does sound as though you are experiencing rate limits with Verbo. So what Pierre said about running sync now, that will be your first port of call, because what that does is it pushes that data out to us, and and out to the platforms, then we expect that to happen within a few seconds. So it's fairly immediate. So that is an option that you can take to run those things now to see if we can push through that data. But as you mentioned, and you've probably deduced there, that the errors are on Verbo's side pushing that data. So you can try it now. You've already mentioned that you've reached out for support, so we will get back to you there as soon as possible, and we can continue to troubleshoot that with you directly. So thank you for your patience there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking this conversation.
Thank you, Scott, for getting that to us. Okay. Thank you, Miles, for running and making sure that it's a little bit better. So yeah, it may not have been totally awesome, totally great. It was awesome to hear us, but you will learn to appreciate our own setups and mics better when we are joining you again 2 weeks from now. It was a pleasure to have this trip in Jamaica and be able to reintroduce you with many members of the team that made it with us. For now, I think we're soon gonna have lunch. So yeah, there is someone basically to here simply to coordinate the trip because it's getting a bit complicated with 25 people that participate. Thank you so very much for joining us. Wishing you the best hosting and getting back with you in 2 weeks with more product and company updates. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye, everyone else.